There are great multiplayer games, and then there are forever games. The kind you don't uninstall, the kind you come back to years later like nothing changed. The kind that somehow works at a party, on a random Tuesday night, or completely solo at 2 a.m. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is one of those games. And honestly, it might be the ultimate version of what Mario Kart was always trying to be. Because when you look back, from the Mario Kart 8 era, all the way to the end of the Nintendo Switch lifecycle, it's kind of wild to realize. We may never get another Mario Kart that was supported, expanded, and loved like this one. So, what makes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe a masterpiece? Well, it's really simple. We're talking about a game that excluded its Wii U origins, has sold over 70 million copies. That's not just success, that's dominance. That's the kind of number that turns a game into a generation-defining experience. And when you look at what you're actually getting, it starts to make sense. A roster of 50 characters, nearly 100 tracks, battle mode, time trials, one of the most fun online systems the series has ever had. There's just so much this game has to offer. But what really pushes it into greatness territory isn't just the content. It's how effortless all of it feels. Let's just address the obvious first. 96 tracks. That number still doesn't sound real. You start with the original 48 tracks, which already have some of the best design courses in the entire series. And then years later, out of nowhere, Nintendo drops the Booster Course Pass and just doubles the game. We're talking about returning fan favorites, some which were given creative remasters and brand new experiences that feel like they belong right alongside the originals. Then they threw in 8 additional characters on top of an already stacked roster. You've got the classic roster, but also fan favorites like Diddy Kong and Funky Kong making their return. And then the crossover content, characters and tracks inspired by The Legend of Zelda, Animal Crossing, and Splatoon. I mean, it sounds chaotic, but it works perfectly. It never feels like Mario Kart is losing its identity, but instead, it feels like it's celebrating everything Nintendo has built. I bet you can't even name another game that doubles its content 5 years after release and still feels this polished. It's truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. All the content in the world doesn't matter if the game doesn't feel good to play. And this is where Mario Kart 8 Deluxe really locks in. Because this is the smoothest, tightest, and most refined Mario Kart has ever felt. The controls are incredibly responsive, drifting feels natural, boosting around corners feels satisfying in a way that's hard to explain unless you've played it. And the anti-gravity mechanic, that could have been a gimmick. Instead, it adds just enough variation to make tracks feel dynamic without overcomplicating the core gameplay. Tracks twist, turn, flip upside down, but you're never confused. Then there's the balance. New players can jump in immediately and have fun due to settings which can ease in newer players. But experienced players, they're optimizing lines, mastering mini turbos, and shaving milliseconds off lap times. That's why modes like time trials hit so hard. You're not just racing. At times, you're perfecting your craft. And then there's online. Mario Kart has always been fun with friends, but 8 Deluxe takes that chaos online and somehow makes it consistently enjoyable. It's unpredictable, it's competitive, and yeah, it's sometimes unfair. But that's Mario Kart. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe never stops being fun. It's easy to forget this game originally came from the Wii U era because visually, it still looks incredible. The base 48 tracks are packed with detail, color, and personality. The environments always felt alive. Water reflections, lighting, animations, they all just pop. Then you compare that to the booster course tracks, which are a bit simpler visually, though it never ruins the experience. Because the art direction is so strong that even the simpler tracks still feel good to race on. And when you're mid-race, dodging shells and hitting drifts, you're not thinking about texture quality. You're thinking about not getting hit by that red shell right behind you. This is where things get kind of insane, in my opinion. Because the soundtrack in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe isn't just good, it's widely considered one of the best in gaming. We're talking live instrumentation, jazz fusion energy, and tracks that somehow match the intensity of the gameplay perfectly. Take Dolphin Shoals and that iconic saxophone solo, or Big Blue, which just amps up F-Zero and makes it fit right in with Mario Kart's themes, or Mount Warrior's track, which evolves as you race through it, with each section building its own atmosphere. And the DLC tracks don't fall behind either. Ninja Hideaway, Berlin Byways, Sydney Sprint, all packed with personality and insanely catchy music. Now, to be fair, it's not perfect. One of the biggest criticisms is that sometimes the music gets drowned out by engine noises and sound effects. And yeah, the lack of in-game volume settings doesn't help. But even with that flaw, the quality of the soundtrack is undeniable. It's the kind of music you remember years later. What really makes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe special isn't just what it offers, it's how long it stayed relevant. This game didn't just launch and fade away, it stayed alive across the entire lifespan of the Switch. New players kept discovering it, old players kept coming back. It became the go-to game. It's one of those rare games that works in every situation. And even now, with newer entries like Mario Kart World starting to take the spotlight, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't feel outdated, it feels complete, like a time capsule of everything the series perfected over the years. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe isn't a masterpiece because it reinvented the wheel. It's a masterpiece because it perfected it. It took everything the series had been building for decades and refined it into one of the most complete, content-rich, and consistently fun experiences you can play. It's the kind of game that creates memories, the kind of game you laugh over, rage at, and come back to without hesitation. And honestly, even if something newer comes along, there's a very real chance this is still the Mario Kart people will remember the most. So, what do you think? Is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe the peak of the series for you? Or do you think something else comes close? Maybe Mario Kart World, Mario Kart Wii, or even DS or Double Dash? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious where people stand on this. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. It really helps the channel. And if you want more videos like this, breaking down why some of the best games ever made still hit today, consider subscribing. That's all from us here at Controller Culture. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.